Walter Isaacson joins us this morning to talk about, Walter, what's been called the biggest concentration of personal and corporate wealth to ever appear before Congress, and similarities, some say, to big tobacco hearings decades ago. You think it's that big a deal?
Oh, man, we're going to have to process this, you and I, someday over a drink 5 or 10 years from now, when you have this concentration and it's being done on, a virtual platforms where, because of coronavirus, everybody's appearing in little boxes. I mean, it's just such a weird period because it helps us understand how technology has enabled us to do things, including survive this coronavirus. But also technology is something that sometimes runs outside of our control.
The pushback, Walter, from those who say this is nothing like the big tobacco hearings of yesteryear is twofold. One, these are pillars, literally pillars of the American economy. And two is that they share pretty broad popularity among American consumers. Do you think that's fair?
Oh, absolutely. And I think we have to make a big distinction. These people are not being charged with causing intentional or unintentional or reckless deaths of human beings. I think this hearing, I hope it will focus very specifically on antitrust. It's a subcommittee of the House on antitrust. And the question that we have to face with these companies is they've become so successful, so big, and they've earned dominance in their field by creating great products. The question is whether you can leverage that dominance in one field in order to crush competition in adjacent fields. I know that seems like a very specific thing, but that's at the core of what we need in our economy. Our antitrust law is often focused mainly on one of the prongs, does it harm consumers? You'll see each of these tech execs saying, no, we're helping consumers. But there's another prong of antitrust law that says you also judge what's happening based on whether it suppresses competition, because that's bad for the economy and it's bad for all of us in the long run. I do think that that's an important question these tech execs are going to have to answer. Is not like the tobacco execs questions that they had to answer, but it is very real for our economy.
Walter, what are the chances that Congress actually passes meaningful regulation as a result of these hearings today? I mean, can we expect to see anything change as a result of this, or is it more just, getting these four executives, I would say, into a room, but into a Zoom-like format in order to hear their perspective on the state of things right now?
Yeah, I would not look for legislation. I'm not one of these people who believes that Washington is all that functional when it comes to complex tech issues. But what you will see, and it hasn't become totally partisan yet, in the field of antitrust, you're going to see states' attorney general, and you're going to see the Department of Justice, which is now looking at Google and preparing some antitrust measures, especially in the field of advertising, where Google is using its dominance in the market of search and its other products to gain dominance in advertising. You're also seeing the FTC look at the antitrust issues on Facebook. So what will come out of this is more grist for what I think will be, or should come out of this, will be grist for serious antitrust investigations, not wild legislation from Congress that tries to control the tech industry.
Walter, it's David. I have at least 3 of your books, probably more behind me right now. But you haven't written anything yet about Bezos. Obviously, we all know you've written about innovators. You've written a great deal about Steve Jobs. Bezos, to me, is the most interesting, first of all, because he's never appeared in this way before. What are your expectations from him this morning, or I should say this afternoon? What are your expectations, I guess is my question.
Well, David, first of all, let me say that in November, there's a book coming out of Jeff Bezos' writing, speeches, letters, et cetera. And I write an introduction to that, which has a biographical component. So I've been studying and writing about Bezos. That book will be out from the Harvard Business Review and Harcourt Brace Press.